The Illusion of Time and Space. By Jeff Street. January 3, 2016. Website: divinecosmos.net. Produced by Higher Self.
Like a lot of things about this reality we experience, linear time is simply a very convincing illusion. It is an illusion created by consciousness. In fact, so is space. Closely related to the idea of time is the notion of linear causality, A causes B causes C. This notion is also just a very convincing illusion. The reality that we are experiencing is by no means an objective reality as most people presume. In fact, it is more like what we would conceive of as a virtual reality, but one with some very interesting rules. Let's briefly review the basics about what you and the universe really are, and then we'll dive into how and why time and space are illusions. Cosmic consciousness. The very fabric of the universe is conscious, and your consciousness is a thread of this universal consciousness with its own focal point of awareness. We are apertures that universe is perceiving and experiencing through. Mainstream science, with its rigid materialistic view of the universe, believes that consciousness arises from the operation of the brain. The operation of the brain does, in fact, give rise to some limited cognitive and analytical abilities and local memory, but our higher consciousness exists in the field, and our brain functions as a receiver. In fact, consciousness is all the universe is. Everything seen and unseen, large and small, are just thought forms inside of the cosmic mind. And because we are threads of this cosmic consciousness, we are creating our reality with our thoughts and beliefs. This is how the universe works, this is what it is. We are part of a great cosmic mind, and all realities are constructs. The infinite information matrix. The information that represents every aspect of every moment of the past, present, and future all exists simultaneously, eternally, and now. And not just all the information for the timeline that we are experiencing, but all possible timelines, literally an infinite matrix containing everything possible, everything imaginable. Of course, this is not apparent from within the space-time construct because we are only seeing and experiencing the part that is needed to create the experience of our reality. You can think of a timeline as the path that our consciousness takes through the information, and hence experiences. In an unbounded, unconstrained state of consciousness, the state that our higher self is in, we can move our point of awareness anywhere in the infinite matrix of information that represents all that is, navigating through it by either the temporal dimension or the spatial dimension. More about this later in the article when we look at remote viewing and past life regression. Our physical reality is a construct that our souls are using as a learning experience. In certain sense, our whole reality is an illusion, but the experiences it provides are very much real and leaves an indelible mark on the consciousness that is our souls. It serves as a most excellent training system for our souls and drives our soul's spiritual evolution or growth. The cosmic film projector. From the context of the eternal now and the infinite information matrix, a linear experience is created by sequentially stepping your consciousness's focal point of perception or awareness through the information matrix. This process creates the experience of time and space, motion, evolution, and causality. It's like a movie produced with a film projector. In a film projector, the illusion of motion and time is created when the projector displays the still frames of the film, one frame at a time, in a rapid steady sequence. Yet, all the frames exist simultaneously. In fact, the projectionist can take out the film, spread it out on the floor, and view all the frames at the same time. In a similar manner, our consciousness projects individual still frames of reality in a steady and extremely rapid sequence, billions of times per second, creating the illusion of the flow of time. Each frame of reality contains absolutely no motion whatsoever, it is a perfectly still image. And yet, by rapidly sequencing these still frames, we create the illusion of motion and time. Sets of information in the infinite matrix function much like the still frames in the film strip. Our earthly consciousness functions much like the film projector, viewing still frames in a rapid steady sequence. Our higher self exists in the timeless realm and functions like the film projectionist, who can take out the film and view all the frames simultaneously. A quote by Basher, quote, "It is you who are moving, not time. Time has no movement. There is only one moment." End quote. The illusion of continuity. Normally, the reality frames that we view in rapid sequence are related and similar, creating the illusion of continuity. Continuity is required to make the game of life a convincing experience. If we experienced obvious discontinuities, we would realize we were players in a game, and that would diminish the effectiveness and purpose of the game of life. How continuity is enforced is not entirely clear, but one explanation is that we simply don't believe jumping around timelines is possible. Because we steadfastly believe in the idea of time and its continuity, discontinuities don't normally happen. We expect continuity, so that's what we get. We are creating all of our reality with our thoughts and beliefs. This is how the universe works, this is what it is. We are part of a great cosmic mind. But continuity is not an absolute requirement. It is possible to jump to a completely different frame in the infinite matrix. Jumping around the timelines would normally be considered time travel, and this has traditionally been considered impossible. One argument that is often put forward why time travel isn't possible is the classic grandfather paradox that states, if you time travel to the time of your grandfather and kill him before he has any children, then your father would not have been born, and then you would not have been born. And if you were never born, you could not go back to kill your grandfather. Of course, the paradox dissolves when you realize that there are an infinite number of timelines, all simultaneously coexisting, parallel but distinct paths through the infinite matrix, or flows of events. When you time travel, you are jumping to a different timeline. There is no change whatsoever in your originating timeline. The timeline you switch to may appear to be almost identical to the one you were on, but it is a totally different timeline. Paranormal phenomena and the illusion of time and space. The paranormal or psychic phenomena of remote viewing and past life regression shed light onto the underlying nature of our reality, and are consistent with the illusory nature of time and space that I am presenting here. Remote viewing is the term that the military intelligence community coined as an alternative to other metaphysical terms. Remote viewing is the ability to view any location, no matter how distant in one's mind, simply by conscious intent. According to the book Limitless Mind, A Guide to Remote Viewing, anyone can develop this ability with training. The ability for the mind to see any location in space strongly suggests that consciousness exists outside the brain in the fabric of the universe, as many ancient schools of thought believed, and that many leading-edge contemporary scientists are starting to understand and prove. Check out the book The Immortal Mind, Science and the Continuity of Consciousness Beyond the Brain, to dive deeper into this subject. Our conscious awareness is indeed a part of something akin to a universal mind, and in its unbounded unconstrained state, we can move our point of awareness anywhere in the infinite matrix of information that represents all that is, navigating through it by spatial or temporal dimensions. In the case of remote viewing, we are accessing our unbounded universal mind, and moving our focal point of awareness through the spatial dimension in the universal information matrix, to a specific spatial location. Past life regression is a technique that uses hypnosis to put a subject into a state of consciousness, that allows them to access unbounded consciousness of their higher self, to explore what we traditionally think of as past and future lives. Our higher self creates many souls that are aspects of itself and projects them into the lower frequency planes of existence. During past life regression, we are able to access some of our unbounded consciousness, and move our point of awareness through the temporal dimension of the infinite information matrix, along paths, and to locations that correspond to segments and points on timelines that other aspects of our higher self, other souls, are stepping through or experiencing. Our higher self creates many souls and puts them in many life forms, on many worlds, in many different situations to accelerate its spiritual evolution. It is experiencing everything that all its souls are experiencing and growing because of it. It is having a massively parallel experience through all of its souls. If you want to learn more about reincarnation and past life regression, I recommend the book, Journey of Souls and Past Life Regression, Discover Your Hidden Past Life Memories. The Mechanics of Reality Creation. The reality that we are experiencing is by no means an objective reality as most people presume. In fact, it is more like what we would conceive of as a virtual reality, but one with some very interesting rules, some of which I've discussed here. Deeply understanding and mastering the laws and mechanics of reality creation will make you a very powerful being, who can tailor-make your personal reality to whatever you desire. And if we all mastered this, and focused our thoughts and intentions on the same vision of a better world, we could drastically alter our collective reality too. And quick.